And our secretary. So, right into approval of our last minutes. Are there any comments, corrections, topics of discussion from our January 12th meeting minutes? If not, we have a motion to approve.
Move it. Second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We're approved. Okay, there you go. We'll move on to the treasurer and tax person report.
Okay. Did you already?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, we're coming back.
sorry, thank you. Okay, for the period January 13th, today, February 9th, 2026. We have a total of disbursements of $142,186.10. Starting from the top, payment to Agents First LLC for sales commission on 88 Rosemary Drive, $5,400. For the purchase of 6 properties from the Species foreclosure auction that took place in November of 2025, $81,074.11. Payment to Joseph Salone for a post-closing agreement on 4 Brooklyn Street, $3,600. Payment of Monroe County taxes, $2,181.28. North Coast Property Management for property management services, that's 1 invoice for $825. 8 utility invoices to RG&E for the period, $995.71. Rehabilitation of 4 Brooklyn Street by Rosario Home Improvements, $44,000. And finally, 4 invoices paid to Flores Turn Property Management. So that one, that's correct, that's $4,110. Revenue for the period is $116,084. Quick question, what are our meeting payments for the 995? That's 8 properties, so 8 invoices, they never double up. They never double up properties on RG&E deals, so those are 8 invoices. Okay.
Fair that you know.
That's right. There's no one living there and.
Okay, nothing. All right. Thank you. Rika, any questions? If not, we have one resolution for a resolution. Number 4, authorizing membership in the New York Land Bank Association 2026.
So this is the annual request to be to continue to be a member of the New York State Land Bank Association. We've been a member since we formed. They formed. So it's a $3,000 association charge this year. You guys remember that's an increase from last year. They based the amount on anticipated revenue. Our anticipated revenues went up from last year, so the corresponding fee for the association, $3,000 for the calendar year.
Any thoughts and questions, any reasons not to do this? Hearing none. Do we have a motion to approve? Second. Moved and seconded. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Motion. Another year and banks. All right, we've got a couple of discussion items that are identified here, but feel free to bring out others. start with the annual report to council, which is attached here. Everybody have a copy, right?
The report, Eric will be presenting it tomorrow. So I'm just gonna take the highlight. Here. Any questions? So, if you think there are now 31 randoms in the report, they're actually going to increase that to 25. Okay, budget, then you go. So, they're now 31. A highlight, we pointed out this year, the activities we did with three. We sold 3 properties through that program. And that's stabilization. The new construction, this is where the Rochester roofs, project, which as a contribution with the state for the opportunity, program, loan, that we are really trying to build something. So. And then also the strategic plan consultant. That essentially progress from the draft 5-year plan. Or they had to get improved. The next section is the administrative activities, which many resolutions, you know, approved this year. And then the dates of the annual budget and financial. Reported to the state and the also on the report meeting. The projects that are listed here, the Land Bank Initiative Open Round, that is the funding we received in May for the various activities, including acquisition, pre-development, and also relocation of 10 properties through the LPI grant, UCR. You see breakdown there. Costs are allocated to state dates. There's been approximately $390,000 of that. Of those projects programs allocated. Some of that is acquisition funds that fund. New construction for home ownership. Again, we're going to the Rochester program. We are also receiving city funding for that. In addition to funding from LaSalle Foundation for that. It's a project to construct 15 single-family attached detached homes or 8 detached 7 detached. That's what we're doing. Which are the land bank, the west. Dictating that this person will be available for sale. On property sales page, and there are properties that were not fit into the same. Offer those properties website for sale. So far we've offered 9 properties. And we have sold to pre-qualified purchasers. Photos. Some of those properties. Initiatives. In addition to the land bank, LBI open ground. There's also some restoration, which is similar to the ideas one that we received, it's a 1 year. For a grant with two, annual renewals. This is a single year grant that we received that began in September 1st. 2025, and goes to our 26. It covers the expenses for our real estate specialist. And also provides support for planning activities. Regularly, for some support, going forward for that, as well as a small amount to contribute to legal services for clothing, clothing that facilitate the efficiency of those clothing through contract things. Some of those are next is relocate three. We have program. So two projects. This program. Third is month. There's 3 additional properties under the stabilization plan. Exterior. And once that happens, I'll have it for sale. One page for sale to become qualified or not. And that mortgage is available through reporters. Syracuse, they are Syracuse, mortgage. The additional subsidy needed only for support that we have on the back. Once those properties are closed, the purpose of listed contract services will oversee the rehabilitation of they must reside in the home for 15 years or so to qualify. And then finally, the strategic plan for that the progress a plan that improved the progress all of them, kind of in addition to supporting the the way in which the land bank is functioned in the past in terms of taking properties from tax foreclosure auction or getting them more responsible and because of the changes both the legal environment and supports the real estate market. I think that's very, very, very last opportunity to do that. So the plan is to find a way for them to continue its significant revitalization efforts in ways that don't rely solely tax exposure acquisition. So we'll go with that. Next is the audited financials, which involves the part of the annual report in September. And then finally, as the discussion is done by the especially for some upcoming activities. Talk about the land bank association. Land bank that is the director, there are Rochester, and also the education finance. There will be they have an annual conference as well. So they either this year, but starting that year. But there's also the planning big property conference, which
properties. Recognize progress by that would be for Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And the land bank will continue with development activities, not just the LBI grant, but additional efforts. So this affordable ownership program will also be even potentially to make the block by block program that serves specifically to Silo State City. New York and the Rochester one. So we can maybe application 3 days to work across and all housing programs. Construction on that.
January 31st. 11:40.
Do it good. The anticipating construction. New housing, and then third is recreation. And seeking support planning to identify focus to be also develop that support to guide us in our but
Did you plan before this?
So I'm presenting this tomorrow.
Okay,
This is, yeah, so we're referring to it as draft. In
Okay.
the report, not ready yet.
okay,
We are working with CCP to make some modifications that will bring back to the board. Actually,
March.
so that's still in progress, that's, yeah.
yeah, so hopefully those modifications look good and get us all comfortable with adoption of that plan. Guiding us for the next 5 years. Thanks, Ryan, for the team, fairly thorough report. Think because we're pretty light on items at the city is fairly light on items where we NJH of after. Yeah. Typically it's what the hell again.
Trying to change it up.
Oh,
Staff that don't have to be there. Just keep it fun, stay.
something.
And
And the pictures do all the work, just show the pictures and explains why it's important. It's nothing to do with. Thanks again. Any other questions, comments? On any council, if not. Update on Rochester routes that you just knew about.
last week was the construction project that's. Everybody's for this. There are, the majority of the purpose will be. Program. You can have many meetings a week through the fall to try to get to closing. The development partner. They're working with the Cornerstone Group. We are anticipating. Having starting construction in March. The first property sale. January of next year, they need to be sold to new homeowners that can qualify at 60%. Loan. We're very excited. Yeah, for some different styles of homes that are usually available. So that is moving forward. There will be a home Housing Development Fund Corporation, that would own the project. That Russians. Organization. Then, after this meeting, everyone will carry that forward. That will, that will continue. And so until the properties are sold for 3 years. Other listeners.
So, all right. Questions on that?
You talk a little bit about, you said that the structures aren't like typical.
Well, there are some like townhome types, so there are 8 properties that are attached structures for homeownership. They are at a lower price point than the detached properties, but the things for the footage. But you just don't see problems like that. They don't, seem a long.
There's some townhouses
Oh,
there.
here,
Plenty there.
Yeah,
but
and down and then show off.
yes, those angels are. Okay, but they're, they might fall in the spot. But there will be, because it's state funding, there is a fully accessible, one of the accessible, one would be accessible for their. Well, at the 15.
But all,
All will be this.
probably. Resetting, but it's possible that kind of a full chart of how. Rochester was actually.
I think that will be easier once we, so I don't know if you saw, we set up a meeting for her team. I invited. So it'd be home headquarters, yeah, that's first.
All right. Great.
All right. Thanks again, Ryan. Anything else for the good of the board?
Yeah. I got it.
Okay.
So we did mention the Move in New York grant that the land bank submitted. Ryan did touch on that. I don't know. Everybody familiar with what that is? Not, I'll just briefly give you an idea. So New York State is partnering. They're trying, New York State is kind of pushing forward. They're going to be selecting the manufacturer of these crossmount homes. And they're making monies available to communities to take part in this to help keep the costs low so that it's affordable to anybody. And these crossmount homes will be put out to the individual cities who apply and are approved. Up to 15 homes per approved community. We did submit our application. We went right to the max for 15. We're very hopeful and very, well, we think we're gonna get it. We think we're gonna get it. We won't know for another probably month. I think it was in the notice, I think they indicated after the submission, probably know in a month or a month and a half. So we just submitted, a week or so ago, so probably, hopefully within this month period of time, we'll be notified. And when that happens, there'll be a lot more activity coming through the land bank. A lot more money, a lot more building, a lot more things happening. So we're trying to, say, oh, it's only 15 houses, but it's 15 houses, right? Everybody does 15, the aggregate kind of builds up. So this is pretty interesting. If you haven't had the opportunity to do it, you can Google it, Move in New York, grant application, you'll find the notice on there. It's a pretty cool program. And Syracuse did a little test case a little while ago, and I think some folks here were able to actually go out and see finished product. So another activity of the land bank will be front and center for Rochester.
Thanks, Paul. Yeah, that's on the heels of the city's pilot properties. So.
Yeah, we were first.
That's right.
Yeah, because Eric's talking about the modular manufactured home RFP that we put out. And we did get a handful of responses to that. We did pick somebody, they moved through the process, got themselves approved through council. Purchase contract's been approved, they're going through the permitting process right now. Once the weather breaks, assuming it will, they'll be building, they'll start, clearing land and prepping the sites and getting things on site. Hopefully within the next, few months. In the next warm summer months, we'll see what's coming in time. Keep our fingers crossed.
And seeing a lot more of that style of home and understanding of how it works here, how their constructability, their marketability, et cetera.
Yeah. That's really kind of what we want to see too, as a land bank and as a city. Let's see, what's the market reaction to this housing product? And let's see. If it's very positive, then it's something I think we can consider as not the housing choice. If it's not positive, then we have our answer. I think it will be positive, but some things you don't know until you try it. So we're going to give it a shot. We're very hopeful.
Okay.
So for any board members who have not been to the Reclaiming Vacant Property Conference, it is coming up. Ryan mentioned it also. September 22nd through the 25th. It's in Pittsburgh. If you have not been to one of these, it's highly recommended. There is so much good information at these conferences. If you can find time in your schedule, I know it's a few days. It's not always easy in the fall, it's busy time too. But if you can find time to get out there, highly recommended. Well worth your time. The seminars are great, but the after hours conversations are invaluable.
Midnight come?
I'm sorry.
No, it's a national
Oh.
conference, so Center for Community Progress, who did our strategic plan, held this conference for.
Thank you.
20 years.
Yeah.
So-
Yeah.
So it's every other year now.
Yeah, they really have good speakers, good seminars, really very well attended. So if you have not had the opportunity, try to carve out those couple days. And get like I said, the after hour conversations are really interesting.
They're in different cities.
Yeah, this is Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. That's one was in Chicago. Thanks.
Great. And when will we be hosting this?
In 2029.
Oh, it could be.
Actually, registration starts in April, so go on the website, see. But I think class offerings are, class offerings are away. May or June, they'll have class offerings out there, but
They're requesting topics, I think, right now.
they always seem to do that. They're always requesting topics and people who are interested in speaking and giving presentations. Yeah, Carol has done so in the past.
And, it's built to our travel budget. Staff and board.
And board members.
Great. Anything else?
I had a question, and I could ask, Councilman Miller Shea, perhaps after, if it's too long of a question, but, one of the things the Southwest Planning Committee has run into, in examining the housing swap idea, to try to keep seniors in the Southwest neighborhood and allow, young people who desperately need larger houses to get access to houses before they're scooped up by investors, is the need for transitional housing for people who are coming in and out of either hospital or nursing home or whatever, where they need for a short period of time something that's accessible that would allow them then to return to their homes. Because the income base for the city of Rochester does not support the money that's necessary to go into most nursing homes, which are terribly understaffed, have entire floors empty because their reimbursement rate from Medicaid is so low. And I wondered if you all ever dedicate any of the housing that you get access to for properties to organizations who can do a project like that, because the concept that we were working on was to get one house that's accessible, and then people can transition in and out of that. So it'd be managed by someone, possibly Physical Senior Living or another organization that's got experience in this model. So it might be a
competitor, to try to make sure people have, you can have a month where you have to be on one floor. And you don't have a bedroom and a bathroom on the first floor. And you otherwise would have to go to your child's house in, another state or whatever in order to do this, but to try to keep people home. So they don't have to leave their homes for a short-term medical need.
All to how land bank
So
property.
as far as the way that we've acquired property, most successfully in the past has been through tax foreclosure.
Yeah.
Which has been,
Right.
become more difficult,
Mhm.
and in particular, it seems that we may not be in the areas that are most,
Mhm.
conducive to that, but I mean, we certainly would not be opposed to it, if there, and again, I believe that, if there are properties that you're aware of that are, being foreclosed,
Mhm.
the land can certainly, take that into consideration. Also, there's state funding available for transitional housing.
Mhm.
So if there are, you're aware that there are members of the community who could manage that housing, who are interested in that, and certainly, not be opposed to needing to discuss a partnership where we, but knowing that is also
Yeah.
helpful.
Well, that's helpful to know because we've been identifying this need when people keep coming to these meetings about the housing. So I would say, what I've run into is this. We've got a board member who just, their husband became terribly ill, could not take the two flights of stairs to their home, and they couldn't figure out, what are we gonna do? He can't come home from nursing home. He ended up passing, but that's become more common, but come to these meetings, but it was like, I had this need for 3 months, I had this need for 6 weeks. So that's helpful to know. And one of the things we were thinking, I was going to Senator Cooney or someone else and ask, do you have an ability to partner with the city to do this if we had such properties?
Yeah, and maybe even it is one of these new construction, I think there's some first before.
Yeah, our challenge is, we have vacant properties in the Southwest, right? U of R owns most of our properties other than 151 Mount Hope, which I'm sure there will be lots of discussions about what happens with that. Thank you.
Thank you. And, Andrew, how many more meetings do you have? Your employment? Yeah.
This is my last one.
Oh.
Yes, we all know that I'm leaving the city.
Hence why I'm bringing it up.
Yes,
So,
will be my last meeting. It's been a pleasure. Everybody from leaving the city and work at my family law firm. Which will probably be a little more boring than being here, but so yeah, but it's been a pleasure working with everybody, but at the end of this month.
Well, thank you.
yes,
for all
salute
of
your service.
Please hold me with luck though.
And filling in, then going forward, with Andrew, Stephanie Prince will be filling in. Stephanie was with the land bank for a while before.
It's been so long.
She's back and better than ever. So.
And far less busy, so.
Yes, there's nothing going on. Yeah.
All right, well, thank you. Do we have a motion to adjourn? Moved and seconded. I speak for all in favor. So, we stand adjourned. Thanks.
Stephanie.
Yeah.